Let's go and find out what's so special about these bloodlines of Eddie Wright.
I'm Rob Woollis, we're here for a day at Fountainhead. This is Eddie Wright. We class him as a master breeder. Got some fantastic pigeons over the years. Saying that, Eddie, how many years has Fountainhead been in operation?
Right, Fountainhead began in 1985.
Right.
We purchased a lot of pigeons at a lot of money and stocked this loft where we are now with approximately 500 pair of pigeons. In 96 we decided to disband the old Fountainhead Lofts and go our separate ways. So in 96 Eddie Wright set off on his own.
Yep.
150 pairs of pigeons, but handpicked from the pigeons we already had in the stud. And I picked 4 families: Busschaert, Janssens, Busschaerts and the Kellens Mattheeuws. I picked these 4 families because, in my opinion, racing today is a lot faster than it was 15 years ago. And I chose the pigeons that I was convinced would win from 60 to 500 miles.
Right.
Now, ever since the day we purchased these pigeons, those results have been proven. So the 4 families that I keep here now are all capable of winning from 60 to 500 miles and more.
Right. Where did the families originate from?
The families, we bought pigeons in few entire clearance sales in Britain, but basically we went to Holland and Belgium and we bought the best long distance pigeons we could from Belgium. We bought the international winner, the Lord's international winner. He cost us £15,000 in 1985 and he was the first international winner to come into Britain, I think.
Yeah.
But basically the sprint middle distance pigeons have been the most successful.
Can you give us just a brief idea of how you match the pairs for producing?
Match the pairs for producing. Well, every pigeon in this loft is either a top racer or a son and daughter of a top racer.
Yeah.
So I haven't got a big problem in...
They're all performance pigeons?
They're all performance pigeons or children of performance pigeons, handpicked by myself.
Right.
So I haven't a big problem matching those children together.
So you...
Mostly on performance.
You think like that, like begets like?
Oh,
winners breed winners?
Definitely.
Yeah. Right, so you've got your 4 families. Which perform best at sprint? And which at the distance? Or have you got all distances within all breeds?
All these 4 families have proved that they will win from 60 to 550.
So they are all-round families?
All-round families, depends who gets what, whose hands they get into,
well,
but
yeah.
There is winners out of all these families at those distances.
Right. And you yourself now, you more on the national racing scene, yeah?
Well, I only compete in national races. Racing is secondary really to breeding, but I love the sport. I love waiting for the pigeons.
Right, Eddie. You do the breeding side of things. You are a stockman. Obviously, you'll agree with me that a young bird needs the right start in life.
That's right.
Could you put us through your feeding regime while your birds are rearing?
Yeah.
Any additives that you might find that are complementary to the pigeons to help with the rearing?
Yeah.
If you could just give a brief rundown.
Right, the feeding system is simple. These pigeons have 2 uppers. They're never taken out. They're fed the same way, winter, summer, it doesn't matter when. In one upper, tick beans, always in front of the pigeons. In the other upper, a seed ration, a good seed ration, containing as many seeds as we can get in, probably up to 12 different seeds, with a small percentage, 10% actually, of peas. A balanced ration. The pigeons take what they want from those uppers. Usually they take about half and half. They have grit and minerals in front of them. Black minerals, grit at all times. In the water, garlic on a weekend, the multivitamins Tuesday or Wednesday.
Is this all through the breeding season?
This is right through the breeding and in the molting season. the same. The pigeon at the moment, we've stopped breeding. The cocks are still with the hens. I'll probably move them another week, 10 days, and they'll have 3 months on their own.
Yeah.
Till I'm finished molting, and they'll be repaired again in December.
Right. Right, now then, what we've come here for today, Eddie, really, is to look at some of the superstars down here at Fountainhead, top breeders, top racing pigeons, with an eyeglass.
Aye, no problem.
Now, if we could now move on, we'll do family at a time, start wherever you want.
Before we take a look at some of Eddie's pigeons, Rob explains the basic rules of Eyesign. Here, Rob takes you through the basic 5 circles of Eyesign technique, starting with circle 1, the pupil.
This is the central piece, the black and the optic lens. It must be perfectly round. Any distortion, the pigeon is worthless, of no use. It must neither be too large nor too small. That, in comparison with the eye, the size of the eye, is about how you want it. The next one, the yellow circle, is circle 2. We're only using this colour just to show off on the video. They do come in a multitude of colours. Always be wide, broad and strong. This is your number 2, your colour circle. The next one, circle number 3, or your circle of adaptation. If you'll notice within this is where we read the eye sign. These lines, they're your breeding lines. The smoky dust is the composition. All makes up to a top of the tree breeding pigeon. To show you the definition, this is what you need for breeding. That is a top racing eye, without the definition. Circle number 4, this is the iris. The pieces I've highlighted here, you'll see are slightly darker. They're what I call the mountain ranges. Its definition, again, this denotes breeding or racing capability, depending on how mountainous, how jagged and how deep in colour. This, what you're seeing at the moment, will be the ultimate in breeding eyes. You've got the mountain ranges, you've got the breeding lines within your 3rd circle. You couldn't fault an eye of this calibre. Go one step further to the yellow tinge around the outside, the perimeter. You know what I call the outer circle. On a good pigeon, this must come in. On a very good pigeon, coming from circle 2, it'll come right through the eye. Champion status.
If you follow these basic rules of Eyesign, you will put your lofts onto the road to success.